Back to Lombardi Sweep. We are recording this Wednesday night, just so you know where in the timeline we are and the whole NFL free agency and everything. Technically, it kicks off today, but as we know, Bill Belichick has been signing just about everybody else for what feels like a week at this point. Took full advantage of that legal tampering period. I'm sure he didn't have any conversations prior to that with how fast these signings have taken place. But Trevor and Luke are back again this week, and Janet returns again, coming from Texas. She's frozen. Hopefully she can hear us. Okay, there she goes.
Oh no, it starts again.
No, you're good.
Okay.
We'll see if you...
Make it through
I don't know
all
what
the
happened the
way.
last time you were here.
That was creepy.
Yeah, you like frozen, like screamed.
Started
My
talking
com-
about Adams and set her off.
My computer just started doing whatever it wanted. That's what happened.
It did. You
I
sent
feel
me a
like-
video for proof.
Yeah, I did. It was just doing whatever it wanted, and I feel like when they removed all the walls from my apartment, they released the spirits, and now they're just floating around in my apartment doing whatever they want.
Yeah, as a reminder, Janet's down in Texas, and the snow basically destroyed every wall in her apartment, is what it seems like at this point. And she just said before we started recording that she doesn't have a bathroom sink now. I don't understand it at all.
That's what the rain is for, Zach.
That's true. If it starts raining, do you have like a ceiling? Can you just shower that way, or what's going on there at this point? But we can just talk about free agency here. We're just hanging out talking about what the Packers have done to this point, just so we're all caught up, and then what the Packers should do. People are kind of flying off the market, so Packers haven't done a lot in terms of outside free agents, but they should start picking up if they want to sign somebody. We can start talking right away about Aaron Jones, though. That's dominated the headlines, at least in Packers country here. At least this show, we weren't sure if Aaron Jones would be back. There were talks about, after the franchise tag wasn't used on him, that they were going to try to bring him back. We thought maybe that wasn't necessarily true, but it was. They signed him to what is a 4-year, $48 million deal. That sounds disgusting up front. When you look at it, it's more like a 2-year, $20 million deal, the way it's constructed. He's for sure not making it to that third year. He's either going to be cut and they'll save, I think they would save $16 million if they cut him after that or something like that. Or they'll just restructure it completely. But just to break down the deal for this season at least, it's actually pretty nice. He gets a $13 million signing bonus, so he's happy. There's a base salary of just $1 million. And the total cap hit will be about $4.5 million. So that is not too shabby. 2022, again, base salary of 1.1, total hit of 9. That's getting up there, but it's not, I don't think it's even top 5 money. So that's certainly doable with the cap. But then, like I said, the year after it jumps to almost $20 million. There's no chance he stays. What were you guys' general reactions? I know I was pretty strong out the gates reacting to it, and it's not that my mind has changed about it, but what were your thoughts about the signing of Aaron Jones, and how does this impact us going forward, I guess?
Right off the bat here, I just want to say, doesn't it feel like every contract that a team signs, whether it be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it's always 2 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's funny. Going to Aaron Jones, I would rather have Corey Linsley and Jamal Williams than Aaron Jones. I think we're all on the same train there. Zach, I know you are. So it's interesting. He's not going to get over, I don't think, past that 6th year. So it seems like a cut situation to me in 2 years.
Yeah, if anyone ever pays a running back $20 million for one season, they better be tanking at that point, because there's no other reason to pay someone quarterback money if they're not a quarterback. Trevor, Jana, what were your thoughts about the signing.
Yeah, I just felt like Corey Linsley was kind of going off the bat. Not that we can have re-signed him, but it just didn't feel like it was ever going to happen, whether we signed Aaron Jones or not. I kind of look at that Aaron Jones money. I don't mind him at all, but again, you kind of look at the play style that I've been talking about, Zach, that you kind of been talking about. Not Corey Dillon. Jeez, I wish we had him.
No kidding.
AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, they kind of have similar styles, as in both of them are better runners than Jamal, but Jamal is a better blocker and receiver statistically. I, I, I don't know. I just feel like having AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, one or both has to improve passing, pass blocking wise, pass protection, and one has to improve in, pass catching. Because if not, it's not going to be one dimensional, but it's certainly not going to be as explosive and as dynamic as if you had, Jamal Williams at the 2.
What's your thoughts, Janet?
I was kind of happy. I mean, I wanted him to stay with us, but I just feel like Corey Linsley was going to be way too expensive for us. And maybe Aaron Jones was the one willing to, take a pay cut as far as staying, because Corey Linsley is obviously number 1 center in the league. So I don't think we were going to be able to afford him. Although it would have been nice to have him stay instead. But I was happy for him. He's staying with Green Bay. We don't have to reteach anything. But I think you're right. I think they are going to cut him after a while. They're just keeping him around for AJ Dillon to kind of feed off of right now. But I would have probably preferred Jamal Williams, just because I feel like, I think I said this before, he was a lot more durable to me. And a lot more like whatever position he was put into, he could pretty much tackle it. So I would have to say that I was kind of happy, but then I was kind of sad.
And just to make the Packer fans who wanted Jamal Williams back a little bit extra angry, he signed with the Lions. 2 years, $7.5 million, which, it's kind of interesting. He's going to be making essentially the same amount as Aaron Jones next year in terms of base salary or cap hit. So that leads people to say, if they're essentially sort of equal money next year, which one would you rather have? But yeah, Trevor, I think it's redundant to have both AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. They don't do anything different. Aaron Jones is very good in open space, and somehow he finishes runs extremely strong. I don't understand how he finishes runs that well. That's his biggest strength, in my opinion. And like yards after contact, he's the exact same as AJ Dillon thus far, which doesn't make sense. So then you get rid of the best pass protector on the team, the only one who knows how to do it. It's very obvious Aaron Jones is incapable of learning how to do it at this point. So now we're saying hopefully AJ Dillon can learn to pass protect, which he absolutely could. That's a very possible thing, but it's essential. Like now, if he doesn't know how to do it, I think we're going to see Rodgers get hit a lot more next year. And it just makes me more mad when you do that while you cut your starting right tackle, your starting left tackle's beat up right now, injured for who knows how long. The best blocking tight end in the league is a free agent, and I would assume you don't bring him back just because of cap money right now in Mercedes Lewis. I'm just nervous because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get a clean pocket, if he's going to get hit next year, this isn't going to be the number 1 offense again. I don't care who we bring in for wide receivers.
Yeah, the one thing for me, and this is a little off topic, but I think it's something that definitely needs to be brought up because of his recent contract is kind of Tom Brady. Again, he restructured, and he has shown multiple times that he will give up a ton of money or at least a decent amount of money to win. Nobody, I don't think, has ever done it kind of like him. And the way it kind of related is Aaron Rodgers, he has been slighted by this front office for a very long time. And I obviously really feel for him. The question mark that I have, though, is why hasn't he restructured? Why hasn't he really left some money on the table? It shouldn't be his business, right? This team has screwed him over, so I'm all for take your money. But if you really love these guys, if you're really loving Lindsey, if you really love Jamal Williams, if you really want these guys to stay, you really want to win a championship that bad, it's interesting not seeing him leave anything on the table. Again, he's a professional athlete. You got to make money while you can. But it's just interesting seeing Tom Brady do everything he can, seeing a bunch of Buccaneers, young guys too, doing everything they can. We have a 37-year-old vet who has made over $160, not including endorsements, $160 million. He's not doing it. Can't hate on him, but interesting to think about.
That's the thing. I was looking at this before the show, actually, because that exact thing, it really bothers me and makes me sad that he hasn't restructured at all to this point. Even if it was just kicking the roster bonus down the road, it would have saved the Packers $4 million so far. But that's not the only thing that needs to happen. Rodgers has the top cap hit in the entire league next year at $37.5 million. They need to extend him, and he needs to take less money. To your point, if he loves the guys, he should be doing this. But like, it's not even kumbaya. Like, if you want to go all in and you want to win a Super Bowl, there is zero chance the Packers can win a Super Bowl and pay one player $37.5 million. It doesn't work that way. And to your point about Tom Brady, he just took a pay cut. He is the 22nd highest paid quarterback next year. He's getting paid $9 million. That's just above Taysom Hill and below the rookie contracts of Kyler Murray, Sam Darnold, below Ryan Fitzpatrick and Andy Dalton. That's what? $28 million less than Aaron Rodgers. You can do a lot of things with $28 million. And Rodgers doesn't need to take that big of a cut by any means. Like, go down to $25 million. That still puts him top 10. It would be like right around Carson Wentz, which I think is fine. Like, we need the money to actually get players to improve the team. Put incentives on it, it doesn't matter. But that's how you win games. You can't win games banking all of your money in one player. It's annoying. We brought up Corey Linsley. We knew he was going to be gone, so that's not a surprise. He signed with the Chargers. We have people like Louis Riddick pretending to be offensive line experts talking about how big of a loss it is for the Packers because of signal calling. Linsley did about half of the signal calls last year, so Louis Riddick is great. He had lunch with an offensive lineman once and thinks he's an expert. I know the Packers are talking to David Andrews right now. He was the center for the Patriots. Bad year, but I think that's mostly a product of Cam Newton and everybody else around him. He's a really, really good center. If the Packers bring him in on the cheap, that'd be great. I don't know how cheap he would be, though. But there's certainly out there if the Packers want to go the veteran route. Which is good.
Yeah, I think you need to do what it takes now to get a veteran or somewhat of a good center on the team. We talked about before how Elton Jenkins should not be playing that center spot, even though he can. Versatile everywhere else. So if the Packers spend a little bit of money on a center, I don't think I'd be too very upset about that.
I wouldn't be upset. It's just we have a certain amount of money to go around. We don't even have a second cornerback on the team. It's not
Shannon
even like
Sullivan. Hey, show some respect. Shannon Sullivan.
He's a nickel.
Hey, we'll move him. We'll move him around. Okay, we got
Great. What are we
time.
going to do at nickel?
Josh Jackson.
You think Dean Lawler can play in the secondary?
Shut the hell up, Luke.
Maybe Preston Smith can just back up and be in coverage full time. That would be great too.
I saw something
Anything that
about
Chucker wants.
John Runyon being the next man up. So
cornerback?
no, I'm sorry, for center. For center.
The versatility on that guy.
Hey, you see him running at you in pass coverage or on a
I'm
blitz?
sorry.
Oh boy, you get the hell out.
I told
Shoot.
you this second dose of COVID-19 thing is gonna have me foggy. So
No, you're good. I saw that too. I think if he, I haven't seen anything to say that he can't do it. I think it'd be perfectly fine to just put him in there. And obviously it's cheap. We're not spending more money. Put Runyon at center than who's the other guard? I can't even think of his name right now.
I saw Billy Turner, Elton Jenkins, Lucas Patrick.
Patrick would be the other guard if we didn't sign anybody else. If we can bring Lane Taylor back, that'd be good. That's another thing that bothered me. Kevin
Yeah.
Zeitler signed to the Ravens for like nothing.
Right.
And that would have been massive. Or Kyle Long's out there right now, or did he commit to the Chiefs? He might have already committed. Yeah, he did commit. He committed to the Chiefs for a contract up to $5 million, which again, super cheap, and the Packers didn't even call him. Not that he would join, but he's going to be one of the best guards in the league again. Other moves the Packers did, they tendered some people. So they tendered Tanyan, like we talked about. That's 3. Essentially, the restructure of Billy Turner's contract created the exact amount of room to bring Tanyan back. So that's easy. Lazard will come back for $1 million. That's nice. And that's about it right now. They were in talks with AJ Green. AJ Green went to the desert to join JJ Watt there.
Get their walkers out
Do you
there.
think the Packers... What were we going to say?
Get their walkers out there together in the desert. The wheelchairs out.
Yeah. That's no kidding. Do you guys think the Packers need to sign a wide receiver in free agency? No, Janet, why?
No. No, I just feel like right now that shouldn't even be a priority, considering the way our
agree.
defense is looking. Yeah, so I think we should focus on defense right now. I had Patrick Peterson, but he just literally got signed like an hour before to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's seeming like the pattern. Like the wide receiver market right now is moving pretty slowly. Cornerbacks are popping off the board pretty quick. We talked about William Jackson a lot last week. I'm not even mad that we didn't get him. Like, he was my number one choice, but he got paid the contract he deserved, not the contract that he was projected to get. He's the top paid corner on the market right now, in the free agency market. So the Packers couldn't afford him anyway. We talked about Ronald Darby. He signed. Mike Hilton, he signed. Patrick Peterson signed with the Vikings for $10 million. Justin Coleman's off the board. Like, if the Packers are in talks with all of these mid-level corners like they talked about, they need to make a move now, because they're going to be gone before the weekend hits. Everybody's making moves so they can watch the NCAA tournament in peace. What it seems like.
Just to throw it back to receivers here, I think Packers missed out big time on losing Emmanuel Sanders. I know I've said it many times, but I think the guy made his career on being a number 2 receiver. He's been to, I think, 3 Super Bowls with 3 different teams. He's just a winner. He knows how to play. I think it would have worked out great for Aaron Rodgers, because I think he's that dependable number 2 target that we've all been yammering for since Devontae Adams had this huge breakthrough.
I like him a lot too. He's just a likable guy. I really like Emmanuel Sanders. I didn't see what his contract was. $6 million. I mean, we could have fit it if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I think that would have been a smart move.
That is fair. He got paid just as much as AJ Green. Would you have chose him over AJ Green?
100%.
I would too. Trevor, what do you think the Packers biggest need right now in free agency should be?
I don't think wide
priority.
receivers, because I mean, I just saw Jamal Agnew got signed for like $14 million over 3 years, which it's spread out a decent amount, and there are a lot of incentives in there. But for a guy who has shown nothing outside of a returner, that is way too much money. And he alone doesn't show you what the wide receiver market is looking like. But seeing how much money was given to Corey Davis is just, I mean, the Jets have money out the wazoo, but that amount of money for Corey Davis is absurd. And the last thing you need is a wide receiver thinking that they can get that kind of money. To be honest, I don't know why. I'll just make a big call here so either I look really smart or, everybody laughs at me. Kenny Galladay prove-it deal is starting to become intriguing for me. I called it earlier, and, the thing is, I don't know why he's not signed already.
Right.
And that's why I bring it up, because the Jets put a ton of money into Corey Davis, who is nowhere near Kenny Galladay. Galladay has been dealing with injuries. I don't know why I'm not hearing about Galladay. I'm not saying the Packers are going to sign him, but I'm saying it's definitely an intriguing option for him and the team, especially if they can restructure Rodgers, because they have some playing money now.
I agree that would be good, but Kenny Galladay said he wants to play for the Giants. Now the Giants are bringing him in for a workout, and he's just going to go there. Like, that's
Why?
basically already signed.
Why? Like, Danny Dimes can't even hold on to the football. Like,
What?
Seriously, why?
That's such an odd request.
What was Kenny Galladay's injury last year?
It was like two different things.
He had a laundry list. It was mostly that he didn't want to play in Detroit. That was his biggest injury, and fair enough.
Because if I'm correct, I thought it was a leg injury, and the turf out at MetLife is going to be really good for his legs.
That's a good point. I can tell you exactly what he had, because he had a few of them. It was a lower body injury for sure. Was one of them.
While you're looking that up, Zach, I will mention that there is a certain someone who's a free agent out at running back right now.
No.
I'll just jump in with his injury here. he had a hamstring strain. Is the only one listed. I'm pretty sure he was, and that was in the season opener. But he was injured the entire season. There was more than that. He's also had a bruised sternum, another hamstring injury, a concussion.
Hip.
But yeah, a lot of leg stuff.
Okay,
Hip
that
injury.
begs a good question. If you were Kenny Galladay, maybe he just wants to play for New York, would you rather play for the Giants or the Jets?
If it was over like him instead of Corey Davis, I would say the Jets. But like now, I mean, there's just too many mouths to feed at the Jets.
Kind of speaking about those guys, I understand, obviously, like I said before, and like we all know, it's a, get money while you can league in the NFL. I just don't understand why we're not seeing more guys on proven deals. Like, the salary cap is so low. If you're a guy and you believe in yourself and you play just decent next year, when the cap blows up, everybody's going to have a lot of money. Everybody's going to be throwing money at you. So just for your own pocketbook, as long as you can really stay healthy and just be average at best, I don't understand why you don't just take a one-year prove-it deal, maybe even win a championship, and then get your money. Like, at least give yourself the opportunity, I guess. Because now guys are going to be locked into 4-year deals that are low because of the pandemic. And in 2 years, they're going to complain and moan because it's too low. Well, made money in a pandemic. I don't know. I just don't understand it.
From a player point of view, for sure, that's what they should be doing. A lot of the big spenders in free agency so far have been the teams that aren't looking to compete and the teams who have money. So they want to lock in the long-term deals, maybe put them back in guarantees because they know the market or the cap, I think, is going to go up like $12 to $15 million just next year, or maybe it's more than that. But it's going to go like at a minimum, I would say $10 million every single year. So they know in 3-4 years they're going to be in a good spot. Patriots know they are chilling fine. Like they're doing really good. I think a lot of these older guys you'll see doing the 1 year prove it deal, 1 year super cheap deal with the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, maybe the Packers, like stuff like that. Hopefully the Packers. You would think wide receivers would jump at the chance to do a 1 year short deal with Aaron Rodgers.
Just look at Allen Robinson. Dude's been complaining and moaning for 2 years when he had the chance. Don't be Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
The guy who only catches touchdowns is also a restricted free agent at Denver right now. It's Tim Patrick, who I think the Packers should throw an offer at.
It would be interesting. I'm interested to see what his value, like his market value is. Yeah. I have no idea what someone would pay for him. But to Trevor's point, I mean, Agnew get paid
right
$5 million next year. Tim Patrick's at least worth $10 million if we compare the two players compared to him. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting veteran wide receivers out there that would be possible candidates for a 1 year deal. I think you're looking at, I don't want to say him, but maybe Mohamed Sanu, but like Antonio Brown's out there, Chris Conley. He's not a veteran. I would love it if he did a 1 year cheap deal. As Keelan Cole, I would love to bring him to Green Bay. Rashad Perriman, Sammy Watkins, Deshaun Watson, Golden Tate,
Josh Gordon.
Yeah. I don't think he made the playoffs in the FCF in that really competitive league. So I think he's got some time now. Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think cornerback's still should be their top priority on free agency?
I'm still in the market for a linebacker, but I think, there is we do have serviceable guys at the linebacker right now, but there obviously is a hole in their corner, so it does seem like a more pressing need at this moment.
Looking at the linebacker market, there just isn't that many people that interest me in their price point. Like we talked about some last week, and I think there's some that could fill a role and be a rotational guy, but we're not going to get a star.
Right.
Unless you consider corner. Neville Hewitt a star.
I was thinking corner. I mean, it's not like we've seen Tramon Williams. I mean, he didn't play that much, but you can play into your mid-30s if you're good technically.
What about Casey?
Elite? No. But yeah, I mean, guys like him. I mean, he is 32 if it's the right deal. Obviously guys like Josh Norman, Richard Sherman with injuries and other stuff that's not the guy you're looking for, but I mean, there's some guys out there that are older that I'm sure teams are going to pass on. I just, like you said, you're not going to find great guys in the linebackers. Obviously, I don't know what they're doing at D-line because they're letting Snacks go, it looks like, and Adams. So I guess it's a Dean Lowry show where they're going to draft somebody. So, I mean, if you're not going to make a move for those two positions, you might as well go corner.
Who would you say for corner, Janet?
Casey Hayward. He's back on there. He was with the Packers.
I would love it.
And
they never should have let him go.
He was with the LA Rams in their defense. Got time to mature and build off of them right now. And then, yeah, I think he would be pretty good.
He was with the Chargers, but he
was
sorry.
LA.
I thought he was with LA.
Yeah.
LA.
Okay, yeah.
They got
sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the COVID vaccine.
I know. Oh man.
But he would be amazing just because, with the Packers and early part of his Chargers tenure, he was that nickel corner. Past 5 years, he's been an outside corner, and he's still been good. Just getting somebody with versatility to go inside or outside, someone who could cover, defend passes. It would be fantastic. It gives Packers, some sort of flexibility in the draft too. Like if they do think there's somebody that's better inside, They don't need to be married to Chain and Sullivan if they feel like he's not the guy. You know, I would still love Xavier Rhodes though too. I think he's a stud. He's so damn good, and I would love to have an angry Xavier Rhodes play the Vikings twice a year.
Speaking
Maybe
of
send him on a blitz on Kirk Cousins.
speaking of putting the Vikings, feel pretty good that the quarterbacks in the division now are Aaron Rodgers, Andy Dalton, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff. Huh?
It's good. This is the bad part. If the Packers front office is super incompetent again, doesn't do anything to improve, the bad thing is they're not going to get punished because the Packers are going to win the division again. They're going to win 9-10 games again. And then they can say, hey, another successful season. Look, Matt LaFleur is the winningest coach in franchise history through the first whatever years. It doesn't mean anything, but he is.
You know, Luke has guarantees of the week, guarantees of the year, which he hit on this year, by the way. Props to him, Oklahoma winning. There's a Trevor Lane guarantee of the year. The Packers have already won the division. Like, you might as well already make the shirts. Like, literally, you put Tim Boyle on this team, and if he only kneels the ball, they probably tie at least half the games. Like, it's just pathetic. Like, the incompetence from the Packers, astounding. The incompetence from the other teams is the most mind-numbing thing ever. And it's hilarious for me, but it also hurts a little bit that people that stupid can have that high-paying jobs and, like, keep their job. It's just mind-blowing to me.
All I'm going to say for as far as quarterbacks in the division is the Lions has never had a winning quarterback before, and Jared Goff is the second most wins since he entered the league. So I think that you need to keep an eye on that at least.
I'll keep an eye on it. I'll keep one. I'll keep the other eye on something that's worthwhile to watch.
Like, half shut, like, kind of not paying attention.
Yeah. He might not be the worst quarterback in the division, though. I mean, hey, props, and that's not a compliment to him.
I think he's the second best quarterback in the division.
I think Andy Dalton's the second best quarterback in the division, personally, but we'll see.
Timmy Boyle, show some respect.
He's not on he's a free agent, so we don't know.
Still the best. He doesn't have a team. He's still better than the other three guys.
Fair enough. Is there any free agents floating out there that you think the Packers specifically should target? You know, with the mindset that the Packers don't have a ton of money to spend, they need to find players who are willing to take a deal or are just in that skill set where they aren't going to be paid very high.
I feel like we're at the thrift store trying to
Pretty
pick
much.
out what we can.
Yeah. I'm going to look at defensive line here. A lot of D linemen already off the board as well. Okay. I mean, Trevor, you and I pass around stupid Packers takes all the time, and I just saw his name, so I just need to bring it up. If you're one of the people who think the Packers should go after Jadeveon Clowney, please exit the fan base, because you are too stupid to cheer for this team right now.
Look,
When
I don't want to hate on a certain group of sports writers on a certain website. It's not easy, right? Like, it's not easy. And I'm not going to name them. Maybe later, if they keep posting this stuff, they know who they are. Where has any of the common sense gone? Like, it's just like, how does that make sense? First of all, fit-wise makes no sense. Injury history, he's a liability. That makes no sense. Money-wise, no sense. He's a big ego. That's not going to work. It's just like, I swear you hear a big name and everybody says, what if he goes to the team without any idea of, like, you know, there's this thing called contracts that you need to worry about and, like, fit. This is not fantasy football. Like, please stop posting dumb stuff. That's my rant, I guess. They know who they are.
Speaking of that point, Trevor, of going off the media, when do we start calling Jadeveon Clowney a bust? Because I don't think he's had one good year in the NFL.
Honestly,
Not many.
yeah. Go on, Zach.
His year in Seattle was better than stats say, but he has only gotten worse in the NFL at the very least.
Even still, he hasn't. It's not number one pick worthy of a season.
No. Yeah, definitely not. And he can't be the guy, clearly. Like, the only time he's had success is when he had Merciless and J.J. Watt on the other side and, all these other threats where he is getting one-on-one blocks and not with the best linemen.
Exactly.
Like, he's getting put... Yeah, there's just... Yeah. He's for sure not a pass rusher. Like, that's something people need to realize, too. He's not a sack artist. He's a run stopper.
Also, guys he was drafted ahead of include Khalil Mack 5th, Mike Evans 7th, Anthony Barr 9th, Aaron Donald 13th, Ryan Shazier 15th, Mosley 17th. Clinton Dix had one good year, still better than him, 21st. I mean, just like he had one good hit against Michigan, everybody lost their mind. It's insane.
Yeah, so maybe we don't go after him. But is there any other players out there that you think the Packers should try to get in the running for?
I'm looking at this. Sorry, I don't know if Trevor, I'm gonna jump ahead of you here, but looking at these offensive linemen here, there's a couple big names that are kind of older guys who might take the prove a deal we were just talking about. I mean, you got Russell Okung, you got Trey Turner, who's not that old. You got Mike Pouncey, Villanueva from Pittsburgh. Like, there's some big names out here that are kind of old players who might do a Rick Wagner from last year.
Villanueva is super interesting. I don't know if he would take a cheap deal or not. I have no idea what his mindset is. If he would take a cheap deal, I would love to bring him in. I don't know if he is capable of playing. I guess he could stand in at left while Bakhtiari's not here. Yeah. I think if the Packers go after free agent linemen at this point, unless it's like Lane Taylor, who's already had familiarity in the system at guard, I think we have to go after tackles. I think it's so much easier to draft interior linemen.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at the deals, and Zach, you and I were talking about it. I put out an article about him. Jonathan Hankins going back to the Raiders, $3.5 million. There's still a lot of guys that can fill that hole, like a Kawan Short, Jarrell Casey, Carlos Dunlap. Are those guys in their prime? Absolutely not. But BJ Raji, in the 3 years of his career when he was like amazing, combined for like 1.5 sacks. You don't need a guy to get sacked. Just plug up the middle, take a double team, allow other guys. Get one of those names that can just kind of stand there. And there are a lot out there. I'm not going to name them all, but there are plenty out there.
I'm so upset that Hankins got signed for that cheap too. Like, I mean, you and I talked off air about him. I think he's so good. I think that's the steal of free agency so far. He's unbelievable. Here's a guy I think we can go full circle here. Packers fans should get behind it. It's never going to happen, but I think we should go after Ndamukong Suh.
Yes, absolutely.
And, hey, maybe he can stomp on some Lion players. Like, let's just repay the favor. Like, he did so much shit to us. Hey, maybe Rodgers will step on some guys with him. Like, that's what we need. We need somebody like him, though, at least.
We need someone mean.
Yeah, like exactly. The movies where two villains come together against a bigger villain. Like, tell me Ndamukong Suh with his arm around Aaron Rodgers holding the Lombardi trophy is not, like, worthy of the Smithsonian. Or, like, all the jokes that could come with it if they became friends. Like Rodgers falls down, Ndamukong Suh, like, fake stomps on his arm or something. Like, there's
State Farm
endless
commercials
possibilities
together.
Here. Yes, endless.
That would be wild. Like, he just fills the old Clay Matthews role in, like, the buddy appearances and stuff. I don't think I've ever seen Ndamukong Suh smile, which could be a little bit of an issue for that, but that'd work, I think.
I don't want smilers.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be
not on the
funny,
D-line.
Though. It'd be kind
funny.
of funny if, like, Aaron tells a joke and he just He doesn't laugh at it. Because everybody wants to be Aaron's friend. They all laugh at his jokes, ha ha ha, but not
You
him.
want to play in the grass with them.
Yeah. Everybody wants to play the grass with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, so there is a Stephon Gilmore traded to Washington. Is that true? I'm seeing that in the chat.
Washington's building a squad.
The football team, man.
I think
They
they're
are.
going to take the East. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I already
yeah.
put my bet in for it. As soon
you-
as Fitz signed there.
If you were taking my picks last year, you would have put the bet in around this time too.
Easy. It's easy. I think I got him at plus 300. I don't know what it's moved to now, but I like it. What other free agents are out there that we should kick the tires on? I mean, I think there's so many old Patriots D linemen that I think are all capable. The Larry guys of the world, Danny Shelton. There's somebody else, but I think they're all good enough to play a role.
The one guy I'm thinking of is like, pay him $500,000. Don't say anything. Don't leak it. It's like the best kept secret. And they just bring out BJ Raji come playoff time. He does not train with the team. He just comes running out the tunnel. Only in the one playoff game, plays like a game, and then nobody sees him again. It's like the perfect scenario.
Yeah. I would lose my mind. If he disappeared again, I would feel like I'm like hallucinating. Like, what the hell just happened?
Like I do? Like I am right
I
now?
feel like I got a COVID vaccine.
That's what the quarterbacks would be thinking. They just throw picks. They'd be seeing ghosts. Shout out Sam Darnold, I mean, you got to think about the psychological aspect of all that.
Maybe like if Zadarius Smith is like banged up one week, like is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Just give Raji his jersey. It'll just look like he gained about 100 pounds out there. It's like stretched.
It would look like he ate Zadarius Smith. What do you mean? He's 360.
Standing up on the outside, just a 2-point stance, not even hand in the dirt. BJ Raji coming off the edge.
Clogs and
For it. Yeah. Like, again, this isn't a move that's going to happen. I just want to know if you guys would be for it or against it. But what if the Packers cut J.K. Scott and then did like a short 1-year deal, like a 1-year veteran deal for like Thomas Morstead, one of these veteran punters that got cut as cap casualties?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it would be huge.
I mean, J.K. Scott sucks. He's just not good.
Do you think he sucks because he didn't play a lot last year?
No, he just sucks overall.
Okay.
That's my take.
Yeah.
I'm similar to it. Again, we need a mean punter. I don't need someone who's gonna be like Bambi tripping over his legs trying to make a tackle. I want you to lay the hammer, bring the wood, decleat some people.
Looking like a
want you-
ballerina out there. Looking like
That's
a ballerina with his leg all up in the air. And
Ndamukong Suh kicked at one point, so I'm wondering if he's got.
That's
He did.
That's true. You know what? We just need a punter. I want a punter that gets randomly drug tested multiple times a season. Like, that's the kind of guy you want. Like, Pat McAfee, like, what are you doing? Like, we love your show. You can always come back to it. Like, come on.
That'd be huge. I believe he played under Coach Mo as well. He was an assistant with the Colts when he was there. Something to think about, and he's best friends with Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe that's why his contract is taking so long to, like, restructure. There's, like, a Pat McAfee clause in there. Like, you aren't taking my money unless you sign us, man.
Hey, that'd be great. I guess we can just run through wide receivers really quick, just because people like to hear about the Packers getting a wide receiver. Again, I don't think it's a necessity. I would rather they go through the draft to get somebody. But I'm not sure if you guys have a free agency list in front of you.
I can get
If
one.
you do, what would be your 3 guys, not necessarily any order, that you would want them to go after? And again, I can start because I do have the list in front of me. But I really like Keelan Cole a lot. Again, he's young. He's extremely talented. He's a great punt returner, as we saw when he returned one back on us. Packers don't have a returner at all. I feel like we haven't had one since Desmond Howard at this point. Like, I don't know why the Packers are incapable of getting a returner. And I think he could fill that need. And he's actually a really good wide receiver. Cordero Patterson's another technical receiver that's a good returner. I don't need him to play receiver. I definitely don't need him to play running back. However, he could be that pass catching running back that the Packers don't have right now as well. So I think having him as like a gadget player would be kind of fun. And obviously he's still a great returner. Packers need that. And then my third would probably be, even though I would love to say Kenny Golladay or something like that, I'll go with maybe like a DeAnthony Thomas for the same exact reasons that I've been saying. I just need somebody that can return the damn football and not hesitate and get tackled at like the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that leads right into mine because I was going to bring up Anthony Thomas. I've talked about him many times on this show. Guy's just fun to watch too. He's electric. I think going around, we talked about him already. Why not bring him in on a 1-year deal? He's obviously still got talent. He caught a couple touchdowns last year. And to round it out, I know I said Tim Patrick before, but to make it more interesting, we'll throw a bid at. I've always been a fan of Chris Conley. I know he hasn't, he's supposed to be this big guy. He hasn't really developed into much. I don't know how well quarterback play he had. I think when he was in Kansas City, he was playing with Nick Foles and Alex Smith. He never got touched. So I think Chris Conley, just based off kind of off that potential he had coming out of college.
He's been good.
Janet?
I had Kenny Golladay and Josh Reynolds just because he just came out of Rams. That's who it was. He just came out, with the Rams. He was with Sean McVay, so him and Matt LaFleur. Damn it! Oh my gosh. Okay, Matt LaFleur are like BFFs, and they have very similar coaching styles. So I think Josh Reynolds would kind of already know the gist of what's going on. So I have him and Kenny Golladay.
I didn't even see Reynolds. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'd probably go 2 guys that I'm high on. One would be Danny Amendola. He's 36. I don't like him, but he fills a role. I don't think he's a wide receiver 2. But if you have him, Funchess.
You think he's a 1?
Yeah, exactly. Elite 1. When you have like Devontae, him, Funchess, and like maybe throw Lazard or MVS in there, you don't have a pure 2, but that's good enough for sure. Like it's good enough spread out. Another one is Marquise Goodwin. I mean, he's going to be cheap because he has had so many issues, injury-wise, personal-wise, really a lot of bad luck. And then kind of in the same vein as Danny Amendola, Adam Humphries. I don't know how much he's going to fetch. And really, we haven't really seen a lot out of him. We've seen stuff out of him when everybody else has been injured on that team, and he's looked more than capable. But kind of another thing with Amendola, I don't think he's a 2. But with all the other guys you have behind him, I think that definitely makes up for it.
He's another one that played under LaFleur too, with Tennessee. So that makes at least some sort of connection there, since LaFleur likes to bring in people that he has already, been affiliated with in some way.
Yeah, I believe Adam Humphries had his career year at Tennessee. I could be wrong, but
probably.
I don't know.
It's not saying much, but it's probably
not much of a career, but
I was going to say something else. I don't even remember. But yeah, I don't know. I think those are good. If the Packers brought in a wide receiver, I wouldn't be upset. But Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Have you seen Devin Funches's Instagram at all? Because
No.
it's electric. He like produces videos on it. It's pretty good. And he has like YMCA pickup basketball stuff that he's like screaming at people. He's like a hype video and he looks good. But again, he's playing at the YMCA pickup basketball with like nobodies and he's dunking it. But the dude is stacked. Yeah, look at that. The dude is ripped. And I'm starting to come around on him. I'm not sure if it's because of all the other bad decisions around him. I don't think he can run a route to save his life. I don't think he's good at football, but I do think he is extremely athletic, and that's about it. But the Packers don't have that. So I think it could be okay.
My favorite Instagram video is that Todd Gurley liked it.
That is, hey, I'm seeing a connection here. But like,
No, that's there.
I told you Devin Funchess, like he's just a, kind of a, $1,400 stimulus version of Des Bryant. If you really think about it. And he gets injured less. He's good at football,
No, he's not.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. We're going to come back to this one way or another. This is going to be on a clip. Hello, everybody in the future. Devin Funchess have a better season than Curtis Samuel. And I love Curtis Samuel. I love Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel's going to get hurt, and I don't trust that Washington offense. So I'm going to go Devin Funchess, man.
Okay.
Hey, hold up. Also, one last thing.
The only way he gets hurt is if Ryan Fitzpatrick throws the ball through his chest.
One last thing. Devin Funchess gives me a lot of James Jones vibes, as in he's just a dude that maybe doesn't get you 100 receiving yards a game, but he will get you a damn lot of touchdowns. And it's going to be one of those trivia questions, like who leads NFL in touchdowns? And you're like, Devin Funchess? Hell no. But there he is with like 16. Okay, so book it now. Devin Funchess will have better season than Curtis Samuel. I am all in on the hype. You're welcome to join. I will take apologies whenever you want because it's going to happen. All right, but at this moment, Devin Funchess will have a better season than Curtis Samuel. Book it, take it to the bank.
I am smitten by Devin Funchess' Instagram right now.
This is good.
Join me, Luke.
It'll make everybody a Devin Funchess fan just watching it. But like I said, he's at the YMCA dunking on people who aren't real basketball players. However, to your point, all you got to do in the red zone, you're in the end zone, box out the guy, go up for the dunk, catch a touchdown.
Also, if you think about it, he's practicing, right? Because he's playing against people in the division that aren't real football players. So, it kind of adds up. So, Devin Funchess better than Curtis Samuel.
You guys got a nice job too.
Yeah. I think he could be a good red zone threat. I'll give you that. I think he could catch more passes in the red zone than Curtis Samuel.
After
If
looking
that's a
at,
win.
after looking at that Instagram, I think I'm more on the side of the Bucks offering him a 10-day contract than the Packers, and then him having a better year than Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. We will see. Any other closing thoughts here before we go?
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy
Yes,
Lucas
sir.
Patrick Day.
There you go.
We should have had him on. For just that simple joke.
Somebody tweet this at
hopefully-
Funchess. Can we get him on? Like, please. I'll buy his jersey if he comes on. I will
I'll
buy his
hammer
Packer jersey.
Let's do it. Devin Funchess will come on. We'll just watch his basketball highlights with him, and that's about it. Which I'm down for.
Yeah.
Hopefully next week we can have some actual free agency news of the Packers making decisions and us having a positive reaction to them. That's the goal. So we will be with you next week. Also, really quick before we go, Flurry Sports Podcast is coming back, and you can hear this show every Thursday on the Flurry Sports Podcast stream. So go do that. That will start on Monday, and we will see you there. Bye.
Bye.
Peace out, guys.